A report claims that 3 Tottenham players will be key to Igor Tudor in the coming weeks and could thrive under his leadership. Another report claims that talks to bring back Mauricio Pochettino in the summer could well be underway already, and that Pochettino is the most natural fit to be the next Spurs boss. Tottenham suffer a major sponsorship blow as the club are set to lose out on millions in lost revenue, and a North London derby preview and why Spurs could just get off to the perfect start for Igor Tudor on Sunday. Here are your daily Tottenham news headlines.
Hi everyone, hope you're well. Chris Cowling here. Now myself and channel regular Craig Dearman will be supporting the London Ambulance charity by taking part in the big stadium abseil on the 19th of March 2026. Now I've got to say, I actually did the Skywalk a couple of years ago, and this was a big thing for me because I am not that fond of heights, and neither is Craig, to be honest. But this time it is going to be completely different because we are both abseiling down the side of the South Stand, and we are absolutely petrified. Now, the London Ambulance Service actually approached us to do this to raise as much money as we can for them. I couldn't turn this down because, of course, this place is very close to my heart. Now we will be descending down 42 metres back to the ground, raising vital funds for life-saving equipment and CPR training across London, as well as supporting well-being initiatives for the dedicated staff. Now, if you can help us and donate anything you can, the link is on the screen now. It is www.justgiving.com/page/Tottenham Stadium, and your support is always really, really appreciated. Now, if you'd actually like to get involved and join Craig and I on the 19th of March at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium by taking part in the Skywalk and abseiling down the side of the South Stand, it would be great to see you there cheering us on, and we can also cheer you on as well. But get involved, visit the London Ambulance website for all of the details, and thank you so much for all of your incredible support.
Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name's Craig and here are your daily Tottenham news headlines, where I'll be going through all the latest news, rumours and reports. If you're watching on YouTube and are not already as yet subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Like, share and comment below. And if you're listening on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. And finally, please make sure you turn on the notification bell so you get notified whenever we go live or upload a video to the channel. Okay, let's get into it. The Standard report that Tottenham Hotspur head coach Igor Tudor is expected to place his trust in 3 key players as he attempts to steer the club clear of trouble at the foot of the Premier League table. Tudor, appointed to Hotspur's alarming slide towards the relegation zone, is understood to be planning a tactical reshuffle centred around his preferred 3-4-2-1 system. The Croatian is known for demanding intensity, physicality and aggressive pressing, and he believes he already has the personnel to execute it. Foremost among those expected to shoulder responsibility is Randall Kolo-Muani. The forward previously flourished under Tudor and could benefit from the familiarity of the manager's methods. While questions remain over his natural fit in the system, Tudor is said to value his movement and work rate, viewing him as a potential focal point in attack. In midfield, Conor Gallagher is tipped to become central to the new regime. His relentless energy and pressing ability align closely with Tudor's philosophy. Gallagher is expected to operate as one of the 2 deeper midfielders tasked with setting the tempo and driving transitions. Meanwhile, Javi Simmons could be handed greater creative responsibility, having adapted to the demands of English English football. Simmons' technical quality and attacking instincts make him a natural fit in one of the advanced roles behind the striker. With Spurs hovering precariously above the drop zone, Tudor's reliance on this trio signals a tactical shift and a gamble. If they respond, Tottenham may yet stabilise their season. If not, the pressure on the new manager will intensify swiftly in North London. Keith Winers has suggested that Tottenham may already be laying the groundwork behind the scenes to bring Mauricio Pochettino back to North London once the 2026 World Cup concludes. Pochettino is currently in charge of the USA national team as they prepare to host the tournament on home soil, meaning Spurs would need to wait until after the competition to prize the Argentine away from his international post. The 53-year-old previously enjoyed a highly successful 5-year spell at Spurs, of course, highlighted by a run to the Champions League final in 2019. Taking the international calendar into account, former Everton and Aston Villa chief executive Keith Winers believes discussions could already be underway about a potential return to the club 7 years after his departure. Speaking on Football Insider's Inside Track podcast, Winers said, "I have to give credit to Tim Spears of The Athletic, who described Igor Tudor as the Croatian Sam Allardyce, which felt quite fitting given the number of clubs he's managed. I see Igor Tudor as a short-term solution. To me, that suggests they want Pochettino back once the US have finished their World Cup campaign. I'd be very surprised if conversations aren't already happening behind the scenes." That kind of clarity would settle things down at Spurs and allow the Lewis Group to fully support someone like Pochettino, a manager with a proven track record of delivering results. I think that's the direction they're heading in. Pochettino, of course, remains a hugely popular figure among the Tottenham fan base. During his time at the club, he implemented an expansive, high-intensity style of football while developing young talent and building one of the fittest squads in the Premier League. Spurs consistently competed near the top of the table and became regular Champions League participants under his guidance. With a clear disconnect currently felt between supporters and the club, Tottenham arguably need a figure who understands the culture, plays exciting football and believes in player development. In that respect, there may be no more natural fit than Mauricio Pochettino. Football.London report that Tottenham Hotspur have reportedly lost a key sponsor in a huge blow for the Lewis family that could cost the club millions. Spurs' ongoing battle against relegation and inability to land key transfer targets mean the club are braced for a financial hit in sponsorship. The Telegraph claims that one of Spurs' long-standing key sponsors has notified the club that their sponsorship will end this summer, regardless of whether the North London club remain in the Premier League. They claim experts are predicting the financial hit will be in the tens of millions, no matter what division Spurs are in next season. The media outlet claims to know the identity of the company that will end its association next summer, but cannot name it due to a contract confidentiality. They say the deal has been worth millions to Spurs over the years, and other sponsors said to be considering their own sponsorship deals with the club. The report claims there are several reasons the key sponsor has walked away, including the decision to prioritise the Europa League over the Premier League last season. One source reportedly said there's been no explanation from the club or acknowledgement of the domestic performance concerns from the club. Instead, their messaging was focused on the Europa League, which is not the tier of competition that global sponsors expect from a so-called elite club. The report cites a lack of pulling power in reference to the club's transfer activity in recent seasons, missing out on the likes of Eberechi Eze to arch-rivals Arsenal, while Daniel Levy's departure from the club is said to have left a leadership vacuum at the summit. And finally, here's my take on why Spurs could just pull off what some would suggest seems unlikely against Arsenal on Sunday. The mood around the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium has been awful for weeks, but Sunday's North London derby offers something rare in troubled seasons, an opportunity. Few outside N17 are giving Spurs much hope against Arsenal, yet the narrative heading into this clash is not quite as one-sided as it first appears. Yes, Tottenham are the underdogs, but underdogs, particularly in derby fixtures, have a habit of biting. Arsenal's campaign, so slick and controlled earlier in the season, has begun to wobble. The defensive certainty that defined Mikel Arteta's side has shown cracks, while injuries and fatigue have blunted their attacking edge. Results that once looked routine have become laboured, leads have been surrendered, control has slipped, pressure changes everything. For Tottenham, meanwhile, chaos has brought clarity. The arrival of Igor Tudor has injected urgency and aggression into a group that appeared drained. A new manager bounce is not a myth, it is a psychological jolt. Players fighting for places, futures and pride often rediscover intensity overnight. Tudor's reputation, built on high-octane front-foot football, aggressive passing, vertical passing, defensive bravery. That style, risky as it is, can be precisely what can unsettle Arsenal. Spurs can't afford to sit off and admire. They must disrupt and turn this into a battle rather than a chess match, and battles are what derbies demand. Home advantage could prove pivotal, even though under Thomas Frank at the Spurs Stadium was hardly a fortress. The atmosphere inside the stadium will hopefully be ferocious, fueled by weeks of frustration and a desperate need for revival. Arsenal chasing honours and burdened with expectation will feel that edge. If Spurs can start quickly, a crunching tackle, an early chance, a goal, doubt will creep into Arsenal players' heads. There is also the unpredictability factor. Under a new manager, systems are not yet fully decoded by opponents. Arsenal will have limited insight into exactly how Tudor sets up, who he trusts and where his pressing triggers lie. Surprise, even minor tactical tweaks can swing tight games. Crucially, Tottenham's players know this is a chance to reset the season's narrative. A derby victory does more than provide 3 points. It restores belief, would unite the fan base and give Tudor immediate credibility. Arsenal may have the stronger league position, yes, and in the broader squad depth, but momentum is fragile. In high-stake derbies, form often counts for less than desire. Spurs have been bruised, written off and questioned. Sunday presents a platform to respond. With Arsenal slipping and a new manager demanding intensity, Spurs have the ingredients for a statement win. Tottenham Hotspur should never be discounted because this club has always found its identity in adversity. From famous European nights and dramatic comebacks in the Champions League, Spurs have repeatedly shown that when the odds are stacked to highest and against them, their spirit burns brightest. Igor Tudor needs to tap into something that's woven into the fabric of this club, a resilience that surfaces when critics write them off. History has proven that form can be temporary, but belief, unity and momentum can shift everything in a matter of weeks. For Tottenham, it often feels like it's always darkest before the dawn, so the time is now when the fight should return. The crowd roars louder, and although Spurs are on their knees, this is when they begin to rise again. Spurs need to get up and keep punching, and in the words of Mickey to Rocky Balboa, I didn't hear no bell. One more round, Tottenham. One more round. Okay, here's my thoughts on all those stories today. Firstly, the 3 key players for Tudor. I'd say all the players are key, to be honest with you, but the ones mentioned in the article, Callum, Moani, Gallagher and Javi, right down the middle, isn't it? It's right down the middle, and that is definitely going to be important for Tudor, and it's going to be even more important against Arsenal on Sunday. I want to see Gallagher play like we all know he can play, breaking up play and actually playing forward passes into the likes of Javi where you can turn, and hopefully we'll have a rejuvenated Randall Cullo Moani. Now, whether Moani is going to be playing down the middle is another thing. Is Solanke going to get the nod? You would think he does. Is he going to go with the 2 up front? Is he going to change things up slightly? We don't know too much about him. We do know the system he likes to play, yes, but is he going to see the current players available to him? Is he going to see enough there? Is he going to have to make some tweaks? It's going to be very interesting, and as the article actually said, speaking about Arsenal not knowing too much about him, they won't have seen him in the Premier League because he hasn't managed in the Premier League before. So the Premier League is different to other leagues. So it's if I was Arsenal, and after their results, of course, the Wolves comeback was brilliant to see, wasn't it? Let's be honest. But in recent weeks, Arsenal have looked. You can get at them. You can get at them. They've sat back, tried to kill time, and it hasn't worked. And yes, we're going to be the underdogs in this game, absolutely. But this is such a good chance for us. It really is a good chance for us. But we've got to get at them straight away and fast. And I'm going to be fascinated to see how we set up and how we approach this game. Let's hope for 3 points. The next article talking about Pochettino talks. I've said this as well. I would imagine if Poch is their top target or one of them, they would have hopefully had some conversations already and getting that deal done, because if they are set on Poch and Poch has said he's interested in coming back and they get it done, then regardless of whether Pochettino is managing the USA throughout June and a bit of July, they can start looking at the players that Pochettino would want. because obviously transfer windows, people saying about transfer windows during the summer and the manager's got to be in place, blah, blah, blah. It's always going to be difficult during international tournaments like the World Cup or the Euros. Not many deals tend to get done while these tournaments are going on. So I'm not too concerned about that. I personally think that the most important thing is if they do want Pochettino, obviously De Zerbi and a few other names mentioned, but if they do want Poch, get it sorted beforehand, and then whoever is the technical director of football, whether that be Langer or somebody else coming in, you can speak to Pochettino knowing that he is going to be your manager and say, what about this player? What about this player? What players do you want? So I would hope that the club are doing that, because Vinay, Johan, you've got to step up now. You really have to. And if you can't do it, somebody else has got to come in and do it for you. So let's see how that one develops. The sponsorship blow, whatever this firm is that have pulled out, there's other sponsors that are believed to be questioning their deals with Spurs. This could be a huge blow for the club, actually, and whatever this sponsor is, it's obviously going to cost the club millions. I would suggest we'll probably get another one in to replace them anyway. Spurs is still a big brand, so it's probably not as dramatic as this article states, but the sponsor is leaving in the summer, so Spurs have got to go out and find a new one. It'd be interesting to see what sponsor it is, actually. But, you know, the vacuum, as I say, left by Daniel Levy, you're seeing little cracks now. And Levy wasn't everybody's cup of tea. I know he had his faults, but Levy would have thought sorted this out. So it's a slight concern for me, but I'm not that concerned about sponsors. But I think Spurs are so big, they will always get sponsors through the door. So let's see what happens there. And finally, my North London derby preview there. I genuinely think that Spurs could get something out of this game on Sunday. I'm not saying we're definitely going to win it, but I think all of us would take a draw against Arsenal. But I do truly think we got a chance to beat Arsenal. That would seriously derail their title hopes. We have to go into this trying to protect ourselves, though. It shouldn't be primarily about stopping Arsenal winning the title. That's out of our hands. It's in our hands to a certain extent because we can beat them, which obviously stops them getting 3 points. But you know what I mean? We need the points on the board. So let's worry about Tottenham first. And everything else comes along with it. If we beat Arsenal, that stops them getting 3 points on the board, and hopefully winning the title for them is a distant memory in a few weeks' time. But you know, if we do our job, is what I'm trying to say, that everything else takes care of itself. So let's get them 3 points on the board, and I just want to see a performance Sunday. I'm really looking forward to this game. I know a lot of people don't look forward to it, but I am actually this time. Seems like ages since we've played, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to this game. But get down in the comments, let me know. Are you looking forward to the North London derby on Sunday? Let me know about any of the other stories today I've spoken about in this video. And as always, come on you Spurs.